Go for it.
Oh, yeah. 3 pre-rolls. Starting with Maev. If you're like me, you want the best for Anthony's dog. Yeah, Rummy deserves more than just kibble recommended by a vet or a fresh food diet. Do you know they're often low in protein, high in carbs, and are the leading cause of weight, mobility, dental, and skin conditions? That's where Maev comes in. Maev's raw food diet is formulated to meet Rummy's needs. Make the switch to raw today. Right now, Maev is offering $40 off your first order at meetmaev.com/JRVP. Go to meetmaev.com/JRVP. That's spelled MAEV to receive $40 off your first order. That's meetmaev.com/JRVP. MAEV.com/JRVP. Helix is back, and they've got some new cooling technology. They got some elite mattresses. They're offering up to 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go purchase your Helix and thank us later for your best night's sleep. Go to helixsleep.com/JRVP. This is the best offer yet. It will not last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. And you know we're wrapping up with Athletic Greens if you're looking for an easier way to take supplements. Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. I've gave AG1 a try to help my gut health. It did it. Go to athleticgreens.com/JRVP. That's athleticgreens.com/JRVP. Check it out. 3 strong pre-rolls. 3 strong stories we're hitting today, including toe sucking, a full body orgasm, and an Anthony sandwich, all coming up on episode 203 of the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project. JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
Suck my dick, America.
What the hell? Yeah.
What?
What's that?
It's a quote. It's a quote from my recommendation at the end. I will bring it back around. I read a great book this weekend, and as soon as I saw that quote, which they say many times in this book, I laughed out loud, and I thought, I'm going to come in here and say, "Suck my dick, America." Like, imagine if remember when the Red Sox were in the playoffs and they all started saying "Cowboy up." We got a cowboy up. 2004, yeah. Yeah, and that was their rally cry. What if instead of cowboy up, it was "Suck my dick, America," and they just kept yelling that? That's what happens.
What if that becomes our rallying cry?
Be a good one. But I feel like I don't want to limit it to America. Suck my dick, planet Earth.
I mean, it picked up your spirits. I feel like you were coming in a little cranky today, and all you need to do is yell, "Suck my dick, America," and it puts a smile on your face.
Cheers you right up. No matter what. That and "Suck My Dick, America." I really like, I forget what the song is from, but "Fuck You, Your Honor." That makes me laugh. That makes me laugh every time. I know I was in a good mood when I've got things going on. I'm on the road again and tired and cranky. But I got here today. I ran some errands this morning and then got here and the front door is locked. And no one gives me the code. Greg has the code. Aaron has the code. I don't. So I hit the trusty doorbell, which does nothing. It doesn't make any sound. It's a decoy doorbell. So yeah, I was annoyed when I had to call Greg. And then Greg's like, "Oh, the code is," and then it rattles off numbers I'll never remember. And then it's like, "Oh, but you have to hit this, then this first." I'm not doing it. All right? I should be allowed in. Scan my fucking retinas or something.
Well, and then Aaron gave me grief for even knowing the code. That I wasn't supposed to be.
Greg shouldn't know the code.
Aaron, what's the code? Tell us right now.
I will not.
Who's trying to get in here? We're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
We've had an intruder.
Whoa.
Was it like a intruder looking for Billy? Or was it just some random guy?
Yeah. Looking for his office.
Mm-hmm. And was Billy in his office at the time? Was it during his office hours?
No, it was after hours.
Ooh, thank God.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten here early sometimes, and I thought of, just taking a walk around just to, move a little bit. And there's not much going on around here. You wouldn't think so.
No, there's nothing. It looks like it could be exciting, but like those days are over. I don't know.
I like this part of the podcast of the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project. JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
This sort of era, like we've had different eras between RJVP and JRVP, and occasionally for months at a time you're just like not really in the mood for JRVP, and I feel like that's going to be coming because I keep seeing your Twitter account that you keep adding shows, fourth show here, fifth show there, and you're like really traveling a lot for the next 6 to 9 months starting now. Like it's even cranking up more. And when that happens, like our little show here becomes even less important to you.
There's sometimes I come in and I try to get through it. And again, that's not bad comedy. People will listen to an episode where I'm not at my best and think that's really funny. Some might come in here like all hyped up and it's not a good show. So that's not the quality of the show. But there are times where I'm like, God damn, I wish I didn't have to do this. This is not one of those times. I'm happy to be here. I'm at the tail end of my club run, and I am sick of comedy clubs. This happens every time I do a tour, where I book a year of clubs and then a year of theaters. And the clubs I like because, and a lot of comics of my level don't do clubs at all. They're like, fuck it, I don't need that shit. Let me just go right to theaters. Fine. But I want to make sure those theater shows are as good as they can possibly be, thus the year of clubs. But at the end of the club run, especially when I see the theaters and I see they're close and they're selling and we're adding second, third, fourth shows to things, all I want to do is get to theaters. So my shows in Huntsville this weekend were great, but I was like, I can't wait till this is over. And I've never been to this. I'm going to St. Louis this weekend. I love St. Louis. Great comedy town. Never had a bad show in St. Louis. I've never been to this club. I go to Buffalo after that. Never been to that club.
Gonna see our friend Lakeisha there in St. Louis.
Lakeisha's coming. DJ Trackstar is coming. And then I've got last weekend in Indianapolis, which will be it for clubs. I got to make up a club in July, which will be fine. But I love the shows. I'm sick of the travel. I'm sick of the smell of a comedy club. I just want to enjoy my hour, which I am. I'm loving it. Enjoy the shows this weekend.
Did you make the changes? Not changes, but you said when you were inspired by Mulaney and something else that week. I forget what it was.
None of it worked. No, I had a whole story. I tried it at the Comedy Store. None of it worked.
Really?
Which is fine. Yeah. Like you get inspired. You write something down. You try. It doesn't work. Okay. You get inspired again. But just to have something to try is good at this point. The hour's so full that I'm looking for any little thing to change around. But shows were great this weekend. I did enjoy the club. I was supposed to leave Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon for Huntsville. And Liz left early Wednesday morning to go home to visit her family. And then my assistant's coming to get Rummy. And then I leave like an hour later. And assistant gets Rummy, and then my flight gets canceled. So I flew out early Thursday morning. Like got up at like 4 in the morning, flew through Dallas, got there, got in time, took a nap, did the shows, great. But Wednesday, I had the whole day with nothing to do. No Rummy, no anything on the schedule. I was supposed to just be on a plane, gone. And I just did not know what to do with myself. I just like ordered food and just like watched like playoff hockey, playoff basketball. But I was like, I truly felt like a man out of time. I felt like an invisible man because there was nothing, no responsibility, nothing I should be doing. I was like, this feels weird to have this much time off to myself. But I would give anything to have that today.
I mean, you had that, for like a long time during the old pandemic.
I know. It's like during the pandemic, you were like waiting for it to end so you couldn't enjoy it. Once the pandemic was over and people were getting vaccinated, I was like, God, I'd give anything for a month right now where I had to do nothing but try to find out where my next meal was coming from.
I mean, you could have called up Miss Kim and spent the day with Rummy.
No, she was like, she had things to do. She's like, I'm taking Rummy, putting him in my place, and had things she had to do. So she's like, I can't come back and get him later. Which I would have been happy with, but I never get a day like that. Just like a day out of nowhere of like, you've got nothing. It's like a snow day, basically. It was fun. It was nice.
You could have come over and, brought Ellis to swimming practice, Walker to tennis.
No, you got to drive everyone in your family everywhere they go. No one else can do that. But yeah, I'm excited for St. Louis, but I'm very excited for these club shows to be over. Once I get to June, I will be much happier. But again, we're adding more shows. There's a bunch of shows in Canada. 3 shows in Canada got announced this week. Pre-sale goes on this week, and then sale goes on Friday. And there's another Canada show coming. I've seen some people in the comments guess what it's going to be. You are right. But I think they're announcing that later on this week. And then I added a second show in Atlanta. Atlanta's one of the biggest venues I'm doing. They added a second show. That's awesome. Great news.
Congrats.
3rd show in Austin, 3rd show in Denver, 3rd show in San Diego. I'm loving it. I'm loving how well this tour is doing, and I will not let you down. I will be there, and I will be killing it.
Maybe if you sell enough tickets, I don't want to call him out, but the host of the podcast that was previously in this studio will know who you are when you see him on the way out.
Listen, we ran into some people, some comedy famous people, if you will, outside. And as I pulled up, the one I hadn't met before was like, "Oh, hey, I'm a huge fan. You're really funny. Hey," like introduced himself. And then the other guy, who I've met many, many times over the years, was like, "Hey, nice to meet you." And I was like, "Mm-hmm." And I never do the thing like we've met before, but we've met so many times before, so many times.
It's only funny because it's happening to you. I don't know why.
It didn't bother me. You were like the one who was like, "Well, maybe it's your hat and your glasses." I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Some people are fucking cunts, right, Aaron?
Some people are. I don't
Maybe
think this
just
person is.
that's why you say nice to see you. That's the trick I've learned from the NFL players at NFL Network. Not that it's only their trick, but nice to see you.
Nice to see you. How's it going?
Because then it's vague.
Yeah.
Maybe we knew, maybe we met, maybe we not.
I always say, nice to meet you for the first time. You're so memorable. I'll remember next time. That's what I do. Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
You better recognize. I
Who's
mean,
recognize?
he didn't recognize me either.
Why would he recognize you?
Maybe they're huge.
He was wearing
Football
He was
podcast
wearing
fans.
a Bears hat.
There you go.
true.
And he had a football podcast.
Maybe he was really into Roto World back in the early aughts. Really big fantasy football guy. It happens every now and then.
How was your week?
That's why you got to watch the YouTube show just to see Anthony's deep sigh and expression as he said that. It was good. You mentioned watching the hockey and the playoff games. I was thinking on Sunday, as my day was pretty much riding up on the Celtics game. Like, why is this? Why is this so important to me? Like, I was going in, I was dropping Walker off at baseball and kind of, listening to the radio on some of the, but mostly I feel like I'm living and dying with this Celtics season. Where they're going to play later tonight. We're taping on Tuesday. More than any season I can remember in a long time. Probably because I put the time in watching it. But it's like, do you ever think about that? That we're in our mid 40s. Why allow these sporting events? And I think the Celtics are kind of the last one for me that I really live and die with. To like make my day or not. Like I almost am annoyed how out of control my emotions are with this.
Because you're looking for something. As you get older, you're just looking for something to like make your day a little brighter, And again, if they lose, it doesn't like ruin your day, but you're just like, oh, good, there's a game on. I can watch that. I can get involved. I'm okay with like healthy habits like that. Like my new thing is I've been getting really into watches. And I just like look at watches all the time. And I'm like, is this bad that I've gotten excited? And I have a couple watches. I'm not like going nuts, but I keep thinking about, ooh, that would be great. That would be a great one. What about this? Ooh, look at that. What's that made out of? And I'm like, at least this is healthy. There are very unhealthy habits you can have that I'm like, this is a little like, it's a guy hobby I need while I'm doing my work. I'm taking care of business. But if there's a game on TV I'm excited about, great.
That's a good way to put it, because I have a feeling a lot of JRVP listeners aren't really big sports fans necessarily, so it must seem, I think, to non-sports fans strange, like how invested. And I always think you're as nervous or gratified as like how much time you put into that particular season, or maybe even just like that particular team over the span of your life. Like I wasn't watching basketball for a while, but I've watched this team in particular so damn much. But it still is like I'm like leaving the house thinking, God, I just want this, just want this win, or else I'm going to be thinking about it the next couple of days. And I have been, and it's like, well, why?
Why do you keep thinking about it?
I don't know.
I mean, I've been into like, Penguins are playing, Pirates, Steelers, whatever. I'm into it. Once it's over, it's over.
That's
done.
normally it, but this is like NBA. It's something about the NBA in particular where the games are just like extremely stressful. And this team in particular, I feel like they've been like trying to climb this mountain forever, and I feel like if it doesn't happen this round, they might just blow up the whole thing, and that would be very frustrating. And plus, they could win the title.
I've been watching the Lakers. I'm rooting for the Lakers big time here.
This is the first
Like the
series I've
Lakers,
ever rooted for the
like
Lakers
the
in my
Heat.
entire life because I don't like the Warriors.
Yeah.
Sick of them.
I'm sick of the Warriors too, but that was a great game last night. But yeah, I like at the end of the game, if we lost, I'm bummed that I don't get to read stuff for a week. When your team wins, you get to read all the cool articles about how they're great and things they did. And if they lose, you can't read shit. it's not fun. But other than that, I don't get upset. If you're the guy who's like kicking his TV,
No, I'm not doing.
I gotta go
I'm not
for a
doing
walk.
that, but I'm holding it all on the inside and knowing how insane it makes me emotionally in a way that basically nothing else in my life does anymore for the most part.
that says more about your life, not about sports. Like, am I too into sports? Like, you're not into your life enough. Get yourself a dog. Get yourself a rummy.
Two kids isn't enough.
No, it's not good. Two
Clearly.
kids doesn't equal dog, right, Aaron?
Absolutely.
How many kids equal dog, Aaron?
Two, at least two, right?
2.5,
2.5,
buddy.
that's right.
2.5, buddy.
Sorry.
When I email you, Aaron, before the show, and I say, "Did you study your notes?" and you just say, "Yeah, I did," you think I'm not going to catch you?
My apologies.
Okay. I don't send those study lists out to be ignored. I know I send you a couple a week, and there are a lot of them are repeats, but you got to look them up.
I do. I will be more careful.
You ever been to Huntsville, Aaron?
No.
You ever been to Huntsville?
No. The only time I've ever been to Alabama was, I think you were there with me, speaking of the Celtics. We
Floribama?
went to Floribama. We also once went to I once went to a Celtics preseason game in Mobile. If you remember that. I don't think you were there.
No.
But yeah, Floribama action. Basically on the way to Pensacola, we would drive through Alabama. That's all I know.
It was Huntsville's kind of a little like New Orleans, and it's like deep south, but it's not the south because they have NASA there. So it's all these NASA weirdos mixed with rednecks, and it's the worst of both worlds, if you will. But I did enjoy it. I would go back. I like Alabama. I'm going to Mississippi next month for a couple casinos. I'm like, this is just so funny to be in the deep south like this with my shenanigans. They went fucking like Theo Vaughn, Nate Bargatze, like, hey, I hope this comic's wearing a cowboy hat, and then you get me telling you how much you fucking suck. Suck my dick, America. Aaron, give me one.
You want me to say "suck my dick, America"?
That's exactly what I want.
Suck my dick, America.
Thank you. Go ahead.
You're not wearing the cowboy boots. They would like that in the South.
I did bring the cowboy boots.
Boy?
I wore the cowboy boots. No one noticed. No one mentioned anything, but I had noticed. I knew it. I like cowboy boots. What am I gonna do?
Well, you couldn't do it every week because your feet couldn't take it or whatever.
When you get new cowboy boots, you got to break them in a little bit. It's like any kind of shoe. Yeah.
I'm into NASA.
I'm not
though.
here to defend cowboy boots. I'm here to tell my country that I live in to suck my dick.
I like NASA more now. I'm more even Team NASA. I mean, I've always been pro NASA.
Yeah, I know you were pretty anti-NASA when we first met.
We had a NASA astronaut that went to my high school, so I remember that was exciting. She went up there, and but now that they're like pitted against SpaceX,
Yeah.
now it's like, okay, we've got a good guy, and we've got a bad guy.
Yeah, NASA's cool. I saw, what was the one with Kevin Costner makes them all do math?
Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures.
Yeah, because back then that wasn't enough. Good guy, bad guy. It was a little vague. Like, ooh, Russia, U.S. There's gray areas. But Elon Musk.
Listen, if it doesn't get your blood pumping to watch Kevin Costner knock down a bathroom sign with the crowbar, it takes him like 5 minutes. Then I don't know what you're doing. Go back to Canada, you fucking hoser.
I've literally never heard anyone say like, "Oh, I was watching that Kevin Costner movie the other week." Hidden Figures. No one thinks of that as a
Listen,
Kevin Costner movie.
Kevin Costner wants to know why it takes you so long to get to the bathroom and why you're wet when you come back. And he's going to fix it. Suck my dick, America. And now it's time for Did We Get Any Notes? Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Kevin Costner doesn't have time for Yellowstone anymore because he's worried about that bathroom. There's only going to be one bathroom for everyone. That's the Kevin Costner way. We didn't get any real notes. We did get some books. Our second place winner, Dr. Adam Tomlinson, sent us his book, Time Science.
From the erotic fan fiction contest. Check it out, episode 200. I did notice that episode's got a little more, pop, a little more listeners than most episodes.
A collection of essays, prophecies of doom, written by scientists in the future, which have fallen back in time. I don't know what that means, but he had a nice little thing in it. He get one to me, one to Greg, one to Aaron. I will check it out.
I like Adam that they put these quotes on it. on the top it says enchanting. Stephen King makes Shakespeare, and another quote on the back, but it doesn't say who those quotes are from.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to assume just the person that Adam put the quotes.
Mm-hmm. That's a good guess.
Yeah, it's a good marketing scheme.
And I'm sure it worked. Congratulations on all the copies you've sold.
How dare you? He does have a nice
signature,
and a little note to it. But he did spell my name wrong. It's got that extra G on the end, 60% G. Suck my dick, Adam.
No, it's too personal. I gotta. It's not patriotic enough for me. We also got some pictures. Lauren Hovey, the contest winner, sent us 3 pictures of her wearing the robe at her graduation. Let's throw them up. Yes, look.
How great is this? You gotta watch on YouTube. The robe is. I feel like it was made for Lauren. It now feels like I should have never worn it. But graduating from Loyola Marymount last week or a week or two ago. So congratulations, Lauren. You're the best. You're the best listener we've ever had.
Class of 2023. Again, if she told me that she tailored it to fit her perfectly, I would believe it. It looks great. She looks great. Congratulations, Lauren. We are proud of you. Don't ever ask us for a job. What a great day to graduate with a degree in comedy writing when the writer's strike has hit and your chances for employment are 0.
Don't. Why are you being a dick?
Because listen, I've been in the Writers Guild.
I feel like her wearing that robe made me feel like we finally accomplished something with this podcast. I've been wondering what's the point of this podcast, just globally, sort of big picture. And now that she's worn the robe, like that was the point.
I need a microphone to tell America to suck my dick. That's what I need.
Wait,
That's
did
why
you
we
see
have this podcast.
the writers striking on the way in? Because we drove past Disney. We were fairly close to Disney.
It's so funny to see writers striking because even if they weren't holding signs, you could tell it was writers striking. They look like central casting writers. Again, I support 100%. I have not brought them anything. I don't need to do that. I have my picture taken bringing pizzas. But I do support you guys. I hope this doesn't last a long time. Changes need to be made. I'm glad I'm not a writer anymore. I'll say that. But for Lauren, it's the worst possible time. And again, it will get better. There will be opportunities once this is over, but it's writer strikes are always ugly. Even though it was a huge thing for me, last writer strike, I became a full-time comedian because I got laid off my day job working on a TV show. And there usually opportunities come out of this, but we'll see. I hope things get better. I don't know if you follow the strike at all or what they're asking for or what they need. But
little bits that pop up on Twitter here and there. The main thing was that I noticed was writers from Jay Leno's previous game show saying that like they still hadn't paid the writers from season 1 of that from like a year ago, and he was out there acting nice with the
that's your agent's fault. Jay's not writing out checks. I'm not worried about Jay. But to all the writers out there, we're with you. And that was, did we get any notes?
Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes?
Why are you doing that? They're not a sponsor today.
It's just a little. Why do you have to call it out? It's just a little Easter egg. I don't know. Why not?
Because that's bad advertising.
We're giving freebies. Sometimes we do like 3 minutes on a 1 minute ad read. We're the place that great products want to come.
I reject your defense. And now it's time to take it down to a place that has no defense, that has no dick for America to suck. It's Email Corner.
Email Corner. Emails are a thing. Email Corner. Emails. It's Email Corner.
Guys, emails are a thing. I don't care how long the writers strike for. That's not going to change emails being a thing. They are that thing. We like to have people send us emails to JRVP, Junior Vice President at gmail.com. You send a bunch. Miss Kim reads them. Miss Kim sends them to me. I read through. I send the 3 I want to Greg. We do this thing. Maybe that's going to change. Maybe now that my plate is full and your plate is empty, maybe I'll have Miss Kim send things to you and you do this part of it.
Yeah.
It's the easiest part. It's not hard.
No, I would always do that part. You wanted to do it because it's more control. That's what Anthony wants.
I didn't listen. It's not hard to do. It takes me a few minutes Sunday night. I do this.
And my plate
That's what I
isn't
meant.
empty, but you're right. It's the next 2 months are kind of my best time of year in terms of not having a lot of NFL responsibilities, but they only last 2 months.
Yeah, and then once September rolls around, it's life or death in the Rosenthal house. Read an email to me.
Yeah, go ahead. Review us on iTunes too. We haven't asked for that. Give us the 5 stars. In a while. That number's been stagnant.
Sign up for the YouTube too. We're getting close to like 20,000 subscribers, and I want that. I want 20,000.
All right. The first one's from Jeff Dunlap. He asked, when you mentioned last week that many fans in Pittsburgh don't know you're from there, the thought crossed my mind that Joe Mangiello is from Pittsburgh and Primanti brothers.
Manganiello. But
Okay.
the typo's there.
Okay. Manganiello. I don't know who that is.
He's the guy. He's married to Sofia Vergara.
Got it. So he's from Pittsburgh. Primanti brothers gave him his own honorary sandwich. You don't have one. When they ultimately reach out to atone for not offering your own Jeselnik sandwich sooner, will you accept? And if you do, what will be the ingredients of your sandwich?
Listen, Joe, how do you say his name again?
Manganiello.
Manganiello. Joe Manganiello was a year above me and went to our rival high school, Mount Lebanon. I went to Upper St. Clair. He was a year above me in Mount Lebanon. We did not know each other, never met before. I've met his wife at a party once, but I've not met him. I was jealous when he got his own sandwich at Primanti Brothers. They put him on the wall. They gave him his own sandwich. I don't know what the sandwich is, but I love Primanti Brothers. I know when I was at Rise Management Company, before my manager left to go start her own thing, the head of that is Jimmy Miller, Dennis Miller's brother, Pittsburgh guy. And he called, this is like 8 years ago, he called Primanti Brothers to get them to put me on the wall and give me my own sandwich. And they said no. He like argued and they were like, he's not big enough. He's not like a Pittsburgh guy.
Wait, why did he do that?
Because he knew I wanted it. He knew I wanted to be on the Primanti Brothers wall, and he was like, let me see what I can do. He didn't tell me he was doing it. I found out afterwards. Jimmy Miller's a great guy. Jimmy Miller's one of my all-time favorite Hollywood people I've ever met. I'm sorry, I don't work with him anymore. But yeah, he called, and they were like, no, and I didn't blame them. I wasn't like, what the fuck, no respect. If Primanti Brothers ever decides that I get a sandwich, I will be in 100%. Thank you. I'm not mad. You made me wait. Like, whenever it happens, it's great. That wall means something to me.
Just don't wait until you die. Don't make it like a Hall of Fame thing where you put them in afterwards.
Do it. Put it in after I die. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I don't care. Suck my dick, America. But the sandwich, I don't know what other sandwiches they have. I know I always get the cheesesteak when I go. I know there's like famous sandwiches they have there. Whatever they did, I'd be like, guys, do what you need to do. Fill whatever hole in the menu you got. No mayonnaise. No mayonnaise on that sandwich. Mayonnaise is disgusting, and it should not exist.
But don't you have like some favorite ingredients or something? I think that's what he's looking for. Anything that would strike your fancy.
Yeah, and I just said like I don't like. Again, I like my turkey. I like it all.
Turkey's the first thing that comes up.
Yeah. Turkey, but again, they have the cheesesteak. They have things that are normal. Turkey's good. Turkey's always solid. I ate a turkey sandwich last night from one of those places. But yeah, I'll do whatever, but just give me no mayonnaise and I'm happy.
I'm with you. I don't like mayonnaise on anything. I want some corned beef. I want that as the base if I was going to have a sandwich.
Corned beef is good.
Beef guy.
If corned beef is good, corned beef is good. But if it's bad, I don't want to worry about...
It's going to be good from Primanti Brothers. Maybe a little like spicy carrots.
You got to do it your own in the back. You got to do all that stuff.
Shit.
I don't know. Some people, if they farm it out, turkey's always going to be good.
Some spicy brown mustard.
But let's talk Primanti Brothers. Let's put me up there. I want it.
All right, the next one's from Andre Ola, longtime listener of the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project.
JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
And he's heard you talk about the cyclical process of being a stand-up. I'm wondering if you have a favorite stage of the process. You're writing new material, starting to workshop it, local clubs, all that stuff. I think people would assume having the full hour bill and touring with that before filming the special would be the best part. But I know for myself, even though I love summer and fall, you okay there, Anthony?
Yeah, I got a call.
Before we start, I'm just imagining what would you say to me if that happened during the show? And it was
Nothing.
Me.
It never happens. It's rare.
I think you'd say something. I lost my place. this dude Andre, I don't know why this is connected, but summer and fall, early spring is his favorite season because he knows all the good stuff's ahead. Once summer's there and fall, he gets anxious. He's not taking advantage of it as much as it should be over soon. I think that's a common feeling. I get that. Does Anthony experience anything similar building up to the comedy special?
Kind of. I mean, it's a good question. I like every step of the process. They all have their different pros and cons. When I have like a blank slate after the special is done, like I'm feeling good about myself, but I have nothing. And I know I have to embarrass myself on stage every night for months until I have that 15 minutes. So that is like, it's fun because I feel like I just accomplished something. And I know it's going to be bad going in. I know it's going to be embarrassing, but I can just attack that. So that's fun. And then after a little while, that becomes terrible. I hate doing those 15 minutes. I hate bombing. I hate just going up and like throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. And then I kind of get stringing together enough jokes that I'm like, come on to the next step of the process. And that gets hard. You're in between. You can't go headline, but you're not. Just you have enough jokes to do well in a showcase set at the store or something.
I feel like that's always when I see you is in that second stage.
Yeah, and that can be tough. And then you get to like I get half an hour of that I'm happy with, and then I can kind of move into clubs. And then that's tough because I'm like, I've got half an hour, I need 45. Let's find it in each show. That makes the shows difficult, but it's fun too. The creative part is fun, but it's also, it's difficult. It's embarrassing. And then at this point right now where I'm like, I've got like 50 some minutes, I need a few more before I get to theaters, but I know I can get there. That is like, it's a good feeling. But now I'm just like, I'm sick of doing clubs and I want to get to theaters. But when I actually get to theaters and I have no work to do, I'm just showing off my act everywhere I go. That's fun, but there's nothing for me to do really creatively. There's not much to do. I'm looking for anything to add to the set, and I'll add a bunch throughout the tour. And at the end, right before I shoot the special, I'll meet with my manager, and we go through the set. And it's like, this you just added just for like to like entertain yourself, but you don't need it in the special. I'm like, okay. So I take out all that stuff. So every part of the process has good parts usually in the beginning and bad parts usually at the end. But I wouldn't like give up any of those parts of it. You know, you need to like earn that ending. But like when I'm in Europe, in Australia, and I've like already taped the special, and I'm just kind of like just swinging my dick around, that is truly fun. But there's not much for me to do. I just kind of show up and swing.
Would you ever like ask Australia to, you know?
No. I feel like my birth certificate doesn't say Australia. I don't really have the right. It's America.
It's interesting you say that you feel like once you're in the theaters, you show up, you have nothing left to do. Because I think to most people that would be the main part of what you do. Because that's what people are paying for.
Yeah, but like in my head mentally, I'm not like thinking about trying to add. It's like this is the movie. The movie's shot. It's on film. I'm just screening it everywhere. So it is fun. I love the cheering crowds, but I'm not like trying to work on. I enjoy the work of it.
Good question by Andre. Enjoy your spring because it's all ending soon. Once the summer gets here.
I don't know. People are like, my favorite season. Who gives a shit? They're coming back around.
Well,
there's only 4 of them.
We live in LA, so that's part of it.
Doesn't matter.
Leon asks a question. This is a deep question, a touching email. I appreciate like a sincerity from our listeners. So it's a little longer, but I'm just going to read the whole thing to you. Again, from Leon. Hi, Greg and Anthony. I'd like to connect with people more deeply and find a girlfriend. Do you think trying to be on and funny all the time in social situations can make it difficult to attract women or connect with people generally? Should I experiment by intentionally trying to show more of what I think are my less appealing qualities? I can be pretty boring just generally. I'm also selfish and a bit cold. I have depression and I have difficulty feeling pleasure sometimes. I find it hard to laugh and smile when I'm with my friends. I'm afraid to show any anger because I'm known as the silly and funny guy. I mask the depression with coffee, sugar, and alcohol and can temporarily be friendly and cheerful. I think I may be sexually unattractive to many women because they can sense I'm not being authentic or hiding the uglier parts of myself. I'd like to find a girlfriend. The last time I had one was 2010, back when Michael Jackson was alive. Should I make an effort to stop hiding who I am? Do you think, Anthony, it will help me to connect more with others and become more attractive. Thanks. Love you guys, Leon.
This is a more of a serious one than we usually take on the show. Sometimes we try to help people. It's not always just about like getting to the funny joke. Sometimes we try to just let your guard down and email us like a naked plea for love, Anyway, Michael Jackson died in 2009. And that was Email Corner.
And that was Email Corner. Diamonds around the world unite. Diamonds around the world unite.
Get your facts straight. And now it's time for
Ad copy.
Let's mix it up. We never start with Athletic Greens. I'm starting with Athletic Greens.
I start with Athletic Greens every morning.
That's right. I do too. Although
If I could find a way to, before I open my eyes, drink Athletic Greens, I would do it.
I wouldn't.
I would spill it everywhere.
Like I
if
said
did that.
up top, I gave AG1 a try, AG1 made by Athletic Greens, to help my gut health. And but I also like it. It tastes good. And you know when I like it the best? I've realized after my morning run. So you're supposed to drink it first thing, or that's what people do? Not me. I do it after a little exercise in the morning, and I drink some Athletic Greens.
Do you eat before you run? Or put
Not
anything in your
really.
body? Then that's
A
okay.
little bit, yeah. I'll have like a banana, maybe a piece of bread. Or
I want that AG1
but not
sloshing
much.
around.
I
when
get
I'm
it,
jogging.
and they say that helps. It's like replacing your supplements. Instead of keeping a whole supplement routine with a bunch of different products, you can just have Athletic Greens. So, look, you can do it in the afternoon. It's even part of the copy. It says it's fine. Makes me feel good. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/JRVP. That's athleticgreens.com/JRVP. Check it out. So they've been our sponsor for a while. You know who's an OG sponsor? It's Helix. Helix Sleep. I've been on my Helix Sleep mattress for a while, although I'm tempted to get a new one. I don't need a new one, but they got this new Helix Elite. You heard of Helix Elite?
I didn't. I just heard about it just today, but we're talking about our ads, and I might get a new Helix too because my main thing for the Helix is keep me cool at night.
Yep.
I sleep warm. I sleep hot. I am hot, and so I got the Helix. I got the Midnight Deluxe. That is the coolest version, but now they have an extra cool version. I'm switching it up.
The Helix Elite collection includes 6 different mattress models, each tailored for specific sleep positions and firmness preferences. Comes with a 15-year manufacturer's warranty, and the same 100-night trial as the rest of Helix's mattresses. We have the same one. Me and my wife, we love it. We took the sleep quiz. Everyone is unique. There's models with memory foam layers for optimal pressure relief if you sleep on your side. There's others with responsive foam to cradle your body. It all depends on what you like. If you sleep on your stomach, cooling, like you mentioned. If your spine needs a little love, they have that. And it's either a 10 or 15-year warranty. If you don't like it, you can return it, get a different one. It's the go-to solution for improving your sleep. Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. You go to helixsleep.com/JRVP. 20% off all mattress orders, helixsleep.com/JRVP. This is their best offer yet. It will not last long with Helix. Better sleep starts now. Let's wrap it up with Maev.
Maev.
So, raw food for dogs. It's formulated. What? That's right. Raw food for dogs.
Greg raw dogging it over here.
Not raw dog for foods. You don't want to be raw dogging it. It's frozen. It's formulated by PhD veterinary nutritionists with real human grade ingredients. You can name just by looking at it. It's just like bite size. So it's replacing the Kittle, and there's a lot of health benefits to it. I don't have.
Let me sell you some Maev right now. Some Maev. Let me tell you this. My dog's a picky eater. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I don't want to be guilt free. I can't just like give him birthday cake just because he'll eat something. I want to give him something good, but that he will eat. He'll let some other dog food just sit there all day until he's starving and then eats it. This stuff, Maev, I put that in his bowl. I let it defrost in the fridge. I put it in his bowl, and he eats it right away. He feels good. I feel good. It's Maev.
It helps the dog's gut health, immune function, oral hygiene, skin and coat health. It's just like way healthier than regular dog food. Most dog parents see results in 28 days or less. Dog parents. Is that what you consider yourself?
Fuck yeah, I'm a dog dad.
So you have one dog that's equivalent to
2.5 kids.
2.5 kids. So I would need to get 5 dogs, feed them a ton of Maev to equal my 2 kids that I already have.
Wait, no.
I'm just saying, like, to make it my
Okay.
kids and my dog
If you were gonna
equal.
If you were gonna put them on a scale and put 2 kids on one scale, you'd have to get 5 dogs on the other side of the scale to make it balance.
That's a lot of Maev.
Justice is blind.
Make the switch to Raw today. Right now, Maev is offering $40 off your first order at meetmaev.com/JRVP. Go to meetmaev.com/JRVP. Little tricky to spell. MEETMAEV to receive $40 off your first order. That's meetmaev.com/JRVP.
And that was.
Ad copy.
Hey, Aaron,
Yeah.
let's get to headlines.
Let's do it.
Let's get the headlines. Let's get the headlines. Let's get the headlines.
Suck my dick, America.
See, you're getting an A+ effort out of Jeselnik today.
Why do you always got to be grading my effort throughout this? She's like, oh, you showed up here a little B+, and now you're A-. Like, who gives a fuck? I am the podcast. Aaron, who's the podcast?
You are.
That's right.
I don't know. I think I'm knocking it out today. I haven't been tripping over my dick at all reading these ads.
No, you've been raw dogging it front to back.
Nashville gets a lot of pop as a great place to visit, and that reputation's only going to grow after a hotel guest recently was awakened in his bed at a Hilton to find the night manager of the hotel sucking on his toes.
Love this. Love this.
For some reason, the fact that it's a Hilton, just like a generic chain versus a motel, like shocked me.
Hilton's a nice hotel.
Yeah.
I mean, there are different kinds of Hiltons, but it's not like some Motel 6
it's nice.
somewhere. Hilton's a good one. You don't expect to wake up to toe sucking in a Hilton. Do we have a picture of the guy?
We do have that ready for you.
Yep. Do it, Greg.
I mean, he looks exactly like
Yep.
you would expect a guy who is sucking on your toes. If you
Yes, he
can
does.
check it out on YouTube and you see that beautiful mug staring up at you from the bottom of your bed at 5:50 a.m., which is about when this happened, I don't know. I'm not mad.
If you check into your hotel and you see that guy checking you in, you know you're getting your toes sucked later. That's what's happening. I love this guy. This guy checked in. I don't know what was special about this guy. Like, why out of all, because there are hundreds of rooms in this Hilton, and he chose this guy. The manager made an extra key,
Yeah.
let himself into the room, started sucking on toes in your sleep. I love this. First of all, what is your expectation for going into someone's room, a stranger's room, and start sucking on their toes while they sleep? Is your hope that they never wake up? Or is your hope that they wake up and they're cool with it? They're like, thank you?
I think that would be the best case scenario.
Or do you like the humiliation of them waking up and being like, because how do you play that off? He was like, his excuse was like, oh, I thought there was smoke. I was checking the room for something.
Yeah.
You could, just to be like, you're on your knees at the end of the bed and you're just trying to get up like, sorry, wrong room. Are you Eric? Oh, you're Jeff? Oh no, my bad. I'll be right back. And then you leave.
Yeah, I don't think this is something he's done before. Like, usually with these crime stories, I think, man, how many times have they done this before they got caught? But I feel like if you're going as a night manager at a hotel to suck on toes unexpectedly, that's 100% catch rate.
Yeah.
You're always getting in trouble.
You're always getting caught.
I guess maybe there's the 1 in 100 that's just kind of like, all right,
I wonder if he was like, this
suck
guy's
my dick, America.
this guy's coming home drunk. He's not going to wake up. Maybe he gets the people who are really wasted. Because, like, I feel like if I was asleep in a hotel room, it's so weird to have your toes sucked out of nowhere that I would just be like, no, not right now. I gotta like, get out of here. I guess I got a couple hours of sleep. Let me sleep. I don't know if I would get up and start flipping out. Let me ask you this, Greg. Do you tip in this situation? Do you leave behind? And is it a thing where it's like he forgot to put the do not disturb sign on his door?
That's
And
true.
then those toes are fair game.
I think you still tip because, look, other people work at the hotel. You shouldn't be punishing them. Someone's still got to clean the room.
Now let's go to Aaron here because I'm not a toe guy. Aaron, when you suck on them toes, are you getting all 10 in your mouth at some point? Like, are you starting from the pinky or the little piggy and then going all the way across and then to the other foot? Or are you like a big toe man? Do you have your favorites?
I am not into toes, and I think getting all 10 in there would be a real challenge.
Well, I
Not
think
all 10
five.
not all 10
five.
at once.
Yeah, I think if in this situation you got to go for all 5 at once because you only have so much time.
I think the goal is to get one toe into your mouth at a time. You like give it a little attention, move the tongue around, and then go to the next toe. I would think you get a couple in your mouth at once. What's the point? Okay, you may as well just be like kicking a shower. I would think though, if you wake up and you feel your toes getting sucked on, do you wait until they finish to kick them out? Are you like, hey, I still got 3 or 4 toes that ain't been sucked yet? Like, do you let him even it out? If you wake up and someone's cutting your hair, it benefits you to wait until they finish the haircut. You don't want to kick them out and have half a haircut. Am I right, Aaron?
I mean, that logic is solid.
Mm-hmm. So do you let them finish sucking your toes?
I mean, I guess you gotta.
Yeah, because I'd be a little worried about like what could happen if you stopped him suddenly.
Yeah. Is he going to bite?
You could get in trouble.
Do you kick? Like, okay, Greg, you're dead asleep. You wake up kind of, you feel someone sucking on your toes. What's your reaction?
Oh, like who put the soup at the bottom of the bed?
That's bad. I mean, you say that out loud?
I mean, that's just, I think
that?
that I tried to put myself in that position. That would be my initial reaction. Then I would wake up a little more and I would realize Neil's down there, David and Neil. And I mean, you want the honest answer?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would kick him. I would kick him in the face.
I think kick in the face. You wouldn't say anything. You wouldn't actually say who put soup at the bottom of the bed. 'Cause that wouldn't make any
I would
sense.
just say like that would be like the feeling. And I don't know. Yeah.
I think I'd be like, quit. I'd do that.
I just don't think I'm going to wear flip-flops when I'm checking into hotels anymore.
Maybe if you did, he would get his fix there and not have to come to your room.
Well, okay, maybe. But the way I imagine this, and they didn't say anything about how old the guy was, and it was a guy that he was sucking on the other guy's toes. Didn't say how old he was or anything about him. No information. But I just had to think he must have the hottest fucking toes. Like, he came in with flip-flops or sandals. David Neal saw it. He's obviously a toe guy. He's been waiting for this moment, and he's like, those are the toes. I got to suck them.
I don't think that's how it works. I think the guy probably came in, either he saw him work out, or he came in like Nike sneakers or something. He was like, I bet that guy's got some sweaty feet. I bet he's been running around all day. I don't think it's aesthetics. I think it's like what happened in those shoes. I don't know if he saw the toes before he went to suck them.
Well, they probably did because he recognized Neil, and so he because I think what happened was he saw this happening. He recognized Neil as a hotel employee, one of them who came into his room just the day before to fix his TV. And I don't think he did kick him or anything because the guy escaped, and they just found him at his house like a couple hours later when the guy reported it to police, and he is getting arrested. But yeah, he was in the room earlier to fix his TV, and so he must have spotted those little piggies before.
That's why you don't go home. If you're at a hotel, you work out. Just go down to the front desk and just start like make up some ramen noodles or something. So when they come down, be like, "What? Someone who looked like me did what?" That's crazy. That's wild. All right. I'm going back to work. Once you leave and go home, you know it's over. Sorry, Neil.
You are not our JRVP listener of the week.
It's not yours to give out.
I'm just saying it's not. He's not.
Roll it.
Good one.
The LA Philharmonic did the damn thing last weekend. They reached the pinnacle of the sport, of what a classical music concert can achieve. They induced a woman into having a loud, full-body orgasm as a result of their performance.
Do we have the audio?
We
Yes.
do. Let's listen to it. It's pretty good.
I love it. First of all, it's amazing that you would just automatically assume that's an orgasm. I would think like someone's being killed. Someone is dying right now. But orgasm, I would also believe. Now, this was like, I saw this on Twitter the day after. Someone was like, my friend works at the LA Philharmonic. They said that last night this happened. I'm surprised they even had a recording. What do you think? I can't believe they don't know who this woman was, because someone had to be sitting near her.
Well, there were multiple people. One was a journalist, and other people in the crowd that talked to the LA Times about it. And they said, yeah, they were sitting near her. And what kind of questions?
Did she get up and leave? Like, did she? Was someone touching her? What I assume happened.
Okay.
And I'm happy to hear any argument anyone has. I assume she was wearing one of those like vibrating things that someone else controls. You know what I'm talking about? It's like you put something on. It's either in your underwear, or whatever, and it vibrates. So someone can, like, you're walking around and someone. It's like an S&M thing where someone can just be like, all right, here's your orgasm. And you have to try to like hold it together in public. That's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, the guy next to her has his hand in her legs and is moving around. And that guy's got some fucking skills if he made her scream like that. That's not a whimper. That's like
I think it was the
don't
music.
care. You think the music made her orgasm?
Yeah, somehow. Yeah, she was so into it. It is like a sensual part of Tchaikovsky's Fifth. There were a lot of people around her, apparently, including one, just coincidentally, like a journalist for the LA Times, who was interviewed in the article by someone else, and saying a bunch of other friends were there too. And they all had the same observation, and that this woman was with her boyfriend, and that immediately afterwards, when they looked over at her, you know, the boyfriend was like supportive, and the demeanor really looked like she had just had an orgasm. Like it'd come out of nowhere, and he was like supportive of her and like didn't want to make it too big of a deal, and was just like kind of hoping it went away, but just was like looking there lovely, and like she was heavily breathing, and the partner was smiling and like not trying to shame her, that she was so into it.
No shame coming from here either. I'll tell you that right now. Aaron, any shame from you?
Oh, no.
No.
I feel that music, girl.
If you orgasm during a concert, I don't care if it's Tchaikovsky or Dave Matthews Band, you're having a great time. You're not ruining anyone else's time by having an orgasm. I don't know if I can't imagine there were a bunch of kids there. And if there were, it's like, oh, some woman got really into it. She had an orgasm. That's what I would say to the kids. I think it's fine. But I want to know more. I want to hear the woman say, hey, I got super into it. I come real easy. Suck my dick, America.
The musicians were asked about it too, and they thought it was awesome. They said it was wonderful and refreshing, that it was like an expression of joy, essentially, and that they were so transported by the music. They took it as a compliment. I mean, I would too.
Yeah.
I did like click on another article of like this woman who was describing how this could have happened, having like a full body orgasm. It causes the abs to tighten, legs to tingle, fingers to go numb, all this like going on the outside. And they say it very much can be with like breathing and your mentality, that you could make this happen if you get into a sort of mental place and your breathing, that you could be overtaken.
Have you ever had an orgasm like this, where just through sheer like sound viewing, like what you're doing has nothing to do with being touched at all? You just have a full body orgasm.
Yeah, the first time I watched Tar.
Mm-hmm. Aaron, you ever have something like that happen?
I can't think of it.
Really?
No.
But it has happened.
Sure.
The only time I can remember it, like, and I didn't know what was happening at the time. I was like, what is this? Did I take drugs? And I was like, oh, that was an orgasm. Was watching that Jared Fogle documentary.
Stop.
But that's why this woman is, because of the acceptance of this woman. Her boyfriend even helped get her through it. The audience didn't narc her out. They were just like, this is great. Everyone's kind of like up with music. This woman is our JRVP listener of the week.
The JRVP listener. The JRVP listener. The JRVP listener of the week.
Anything else you want to add to
I
this?
really wish I had just said I was watching Air Bud at the time. You know, that's when it first
blew it.
happened. I know. I blanked on what the name of Air Bud was. What a classic.
You blanked on the name Air Bud.
I was going to say like the movie with the dog.
And without writers, Air Bud never would have happened. So pay them. Honestly, let's use that more, Aaron.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it. Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of is the whale. It really reminds me of our old sound of the whale.
Oh, the whale in the dumpster? Yeah. I thought you meant the movie The Whale. I was like, does that happen? does Brendan Fraser have a full body orgasm?
It's very similar to the whale getting dropped into the dumpster. All right, it's college graduation season, as our friend Lauren Hovey let us know a little earlier, and it sounds like fun. It was great for her, but it can also be extremely stressful for all those wacky kids out there who have been lying to their family and friends for years that they've actually been going to college when they haven't. So what do you do on the big day if that's the case? If you're Penn State student Chloe Stein, you just fake an abduction so that no one is the wiser.
Was she going to Penn State Maine or Penn State branch campus?
I think it was Penn State, just Maine.
Because there are a bunch of different branch campuses.
Oh, you're right. Penn State Greater Allegheny. You're
okay.
right.
I don't know that one. I forget which one I got into. I did not go to Penn State. But I can see this happening. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more. Remember the dude?
Why are you surprised this doesn't happen more?
Because it seems like people feel this pressure. Like they got to go to school. That's got to be great. And they're just like, okay, they start to lie. Everyone treats them well. When you're a college student, people might ask you, like, what are your plans? But they're just like, you're a college student. You can't really do anything. You can't ask for anything. You're just there. So you have this like 4 years of grace. And I could see enjoying it and be like, how are finals going? Oh, finals are great. You know how stressful it can get. And you get into the role. And all of a sudden it comes up and you're like, I don't know how to get out of this. Let me do something even crazier. Remember when like at high schools they would do the thing where kids would announce where they were going to, what school they were going to? Like they'd be like getting recruited and they'd have like a USC hat and Oregon
Athletes.
hat. Yeah, athletes, like student athletes. They'd be like, this is the school I'm going to choose. And they'd pick up the hat and put it on. And it was like kind of getting weird. And then one year a kid did it, and they found out he wasn't playing anywhere. Like he just he was like, yeah, I got Alabama, Auburn, like these three. And they were like, no, he wasn't good at all, even in high school. He just started saying this and people got into the hype where it was like on television that day. They're like, kids are fucking weird and start lying about some stupid thing. And then they get so caught up in it, they start to believe it. And then this happens.
Well, I get all that leading up to it. It's the point where what you're faking is an abduction. And you don't plan it out very well. We can get into the details, but you don't plan it out very well. That's like a serious crime that is going to be called into the police. Just like the guy sucking the toes, like, how do you think this is going to end? Is this really going to get you out of telling your parents that you're actually not going to school?
She's a pathological liar. And pathological liars do crazy shit where I think she really thought people would find her and be so happy they wouldn't ask about college. I don't know why she didn't just say she got kicked out or just say that she got like expelled or she's taking some time off. That would have been a better lie to get out of this one.
Well, right,
but give me details of the
right. The reason they find out that she wasn't going to the school is because the police do an investigation and find this out. And she was found at her friend's house. So what happened was she abandoned her car. She sent a text. The last thing she did, and she planned this out, and it's a little unclear if the boyfriend was involved and knew or whether she didn't tell him about it. But she had been seen earlier that day. She was like going back and forth to work. Her family had seen her. She sent a text to her boyfriend like on the way home from work that she was being pulled over. And then she just disappeared. And no one saw her like until a full day later. But in the middle of the next day, I guess the boyfriend wasn't involved and was like worried. What happened to her? Where did she go? She just disappeared. So he then reported to the police. The family reported to the police that she's been missing. They easily found her car. It was just like on the way back home from work on the side of the road. The car had been abandoned. And then the police easily found her at a family friend's house, right close to her family's house.
How did they like track a cell phone and just like, oh, here it is?
I think so. I'm not exactly sure how they found her, but they realized almost immediately that her story was made up. She told investigators she was abducted by a man wearing a mask and held at gunpoint and semi-assaulted and bound. But she didn't really give an explanation why would they do that? And they just left your car out.
Were they like, you're not that hot? Why would anyone do that to you?
I mean, that's not fair. I think she was a good-looking young woman, normal-looking young woman. But yeah, it didn't really make any sense that she would be released and dropped in an alleyway near her home. I guess she she went to this family friend's house, and she had been there the whole time. She had just dropped the car off, like walked straight to the family friend's house.
Sounds like she didn't give it a lot of thought. What was she majoring in school, according to people? Because I feel like if you're going to lie, you're going to go pre-med, right? You'd be like, oh, I'm a double major, finance and medical school. Is that what you would do, Aaron?
If I was faking an abduction?
If you were lying about going to school, what would you say your major was?
Criminal justice.
Ooh, that's good. Because then you feel like it's a little joke for you. I'll tell you what this is, Greg and Aaron. This is an excess baggage situation.
Okay.
You know what excess baggage was?
What?
It was a movie with Alicia Silverstone
Oh, yeah.
where she pretends to get kidnapped. No one saw the movie. Everyone just saw the commercial where she locks herself in the trunk of her own car and somehow Benicio del Toro ends up with her. I think Christopher Walken might be the dad. Anyway, great movie. She saw this, tried to do this. There was no Benicio. Okay? She's no Alicia Silverstone. Her dad, I don't know if he's even in the picture, he's no Chris Walken. And that's why it all fell apart.
I mean, how good looking is the mom in this movie to genetically get Alicia Silverstone to come out of Christopher Walken being the dad?
I'm going to ignore that. What's happening to her now? What is she being charged with?
What is she being charged with? I will find that out for you, but I think that gets to a point I wanted to raise, which is that the only reason why this is a story, why everyone's pissed, is that she blamed it on the cops. She said, like, she started it by saying she was pulled over, like saying it was a cop, and then she was suddenly missing. They ended up using helicopters. They like sent out a missing endangered person advisory, like the state police. And they said they spend like tens of thousands of dollars like searching with the helicopter, and she was like in a garage essentially right next to her house. And they essentially wanted everyone to know, like, no, we're not pulling anyone over and making them missing.
What school was it that she said she went to?
I just told you, Penn State, Allegheny, something.
Right. Do you think she ever lives this down? Like, she's probably not going to go to jail. I'm just have to pay a fine, maybe do some community service, but she's got to leave that city. She's got to go. I don't know if she'll ever actually go to college for real.
Well, she was going to college, but she had dropped out like a year. She was halfway through, basically, and dropped out like a couple years before and hadn't told her parents. And she is being charged with false alarm to agency of public safety, false reports, obstruction of administration of law and governmental functions, and disorderly conduct.
This girl will never get a present again that doesn't send her anxiety through the roof. Every time she gets a package, you know what's going to be in there? A Penn State sweatshirt. A Penn State hat. Like, she's getting Nittany Lion everything. She can never live it down. She's got to move somewhere. She's got to move to Michigan. She's got to move to South Bend, Indiana, and take up that school and hope they accept her in, and hope that she can be their Alicia Silverstone. Because it is an excess baggage situation, Aaron, is it not?
It is.
It is.
But she didn't, yeah, and according to this, yeah, she really hadn't told her friends, so they were like having a vigil outside in the nearby Sonic that she worked at, Sonic restaurant, and they were all, you know, they were worried that she was dead.
I love when she tries to explain to her friends what happened. Like, listen, so I left school. I didn't want to tell my parents. So, like, people who get caught in these lies, trying to lie their way out of it is my favorite part. If we ever get a follow-up on this story, I would love to see her interviewed and see her try to talk about it, or one of her friends just spill the tea all over Facebook. Let me know, America. And also, suck my dick.
Last headline.
Finally in the news, the war on pickleball is officially on. Mm-hmm. Some of my spiritual comrades in Needham, Massachusetts, took matters into their own hands. It's time by slashing nets at one pickleball court in the area and then throwing nets out of the courts at another venue.
So, just to be clear, like, pickleball courts and tennis courts is the net at a different level, or it's like everything's the same except you use only part of the court?
Yeah. Like, they're on the tennis courts. They're just not using the tennis net. They bring their own little pickleball nets to set up. You can set up about 4 pickleball. You like 2 per side, 4 pickleball nets on like 1 tennis court.
So is it the same height or is it
No,
like
it's low.
It's low. Okay.
Yeah, like we have a picture of some of the courts who had been thrown just aggressively
God.
onto the ground. They had been destroyed in Needham, Connecticut.
My God, the carnage.
The vandalism was sandwiched between 2 other incidents. Apparently, there was some altercation between the tennis and the pickleball players on Saturday, and then this all happened. Like some sort of argument between tennis and pickleball players in terms of how the courts were being used. And it appears the tennis vigilantes, my comrades, decided to make a statement and just took them out.
And how did the pickleballers hit back? Did they cut down the tennis nets, or did they just like, okay, we'll get some new? Because pickleball nets look like shit. It looks like they can't cost that much money.
No.
For these low level.
No, throwing the nets out of the court. I mean, it's very easy to bounce back from this. I feel like for the pickleball people.
Because I feel like pickleball players are like the chupacabra or the chapicabra of the like the sports world, where like they think they get along with everyone. They got no natural predators. It's like, hey, we like our pickleball. It's fun. We're getting people active. But then tennis players, like they live off of. They can only eat chapicabras. They can only eat pickleball players. So it's like tennis players who are just normally pretty chill, unless they see black people, they're cool. Then they see pickleballers and they lose their goddamn minds. That I want to see these people fight it out. It's a Godzilla Kong situation. You know what? It's an excess baggage situation if you think about it, Aaron.
Yeah.
How so?
I've never seen the movie, but I got to think. But if there might be a ball, there might be a pickle. There could. I bet there's a net. I bet Benicio nets it up.
Yeah.
I mean, my issue with the pickleballers are one, they're the same type of people that get super into like crypto, and it's all just like a fad. Like they're just following whatever's a trend. In like 5 years, they're not going to be playing pickleball. And then 2, no respect for the tennis court, especially.
It's the attitude.
It's they take it over. They're saying like. They have no respect for the tennis players, for the kids, for the youth.
Yeah, they sound like dicks. I haven't played tennis. I don't play tennis. I'd probably be more likely to play pickleball than I would be tennis. But the way they treat tennis players, you gots to go. It's an excess baggage situation. You gots to go.
Are we gonna get like an Alicia Silverstone comeback? I want it.
She was just in those commercials. She played she went back and played the girl from Clueless again, but it's like she's older now. It's not great. You don't want to see her.
Let's get a sequel. Why not?
Because she's like it's weird. It like reminds you of when she was younger, but now she's old. It's just like you didn't get to see her grow up. You saw her when she was younger, and now you see her now. It's weird. It's awful.
Paul Rudd's been around the whole time.
He looks exactly the same as he did in that first movie. You know, you gotta watch him grow. She took some time off after Batman and Robin. And rightly so. Deservedly so.
I feel like
because Batman and Robin was an excess baggage situation.
I feel like they'd both be tennis.
What do you think will be the nail in the coffin of pickleball? Because they're doing leagues. It's on TV. They're doing pro things. It seems like it's like getting bigger and bigger.
It is. It's going to get bigger for another couple years. Yeah, they're like getting on ESPN and all this stuff. It's all this like venture capitalist money that like is just trying to like make a new sport. No one's gonna want to watch it, so that's gonna die quickly. It's not it maybe as a recreational sport. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna kill it. Just people move on to the next thing, but it'll have its shelf life. It's good for the older people. You know, my mom plays.
Yeah,
it's great.
Good,
and it's great. It's great if you're just doing it for fun, as long as you got a good attitude.
Like I can
make your own courts.
I can be in a bar at 2 a.m. and ESPN2 is playing a World's Strongest Man competition, and I'm into it. I'm like, yeah, throw that up. I don't give a fuck. But if they were playing pickleball, I'd be mad. I'd be like, guys, if you need me to get excess baggage up in here, I will. But you need to change that fucking channel right now. I think they've got to have a peace with the tennis players. It's like when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor and brought America into World War II. That was a mistake, you know? So I think by fighting with the tennis players, the tennis players are America, pickleballers are the Japanese, and the people who live near the courts are the Nazis. People who live in like the area around the courts.
Wait, and who are the Americans?
If you can
again?
look at the tennis players.
Okay.
But if you can look out your window and see the court, full blown Nazi.
And what are people saying to the tennis players?
Suck my dick, America. And now it's time for
Choo-choo.
recommendation station. I'm so excited about mine, but you go first, Greg.
I wish I could recommend Excess Baggage. Harry Connick Jr. is in this movie. Do you want to hear the log line of Excess Baggage, by
Yes.
the way? It's a bratty teenager fakes her own kidnapping, but mistakenly gets kidnapped for real instead.
And is Benicio del Toro in it? Am I right about
Yeah,
that?
all your casting was correct. Yeah.
Christopher Walken's in it?
He's the dad, and Benicio del Toro could not look any younger. He looks like 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious to see it. Nicholas Turturro is in it.
Tell me how it goes, bro.
No one else I recognize. Okay, so I've got a backlog of books, and yet I'm gonna break a rule of recommendation station. I'm gonna recommend a book that I haven't finished. I don't care because I'm just inspired to. It's called Hate Ship, Love Ship, Courtship, Marriage. I think Friendship was in there too. It's by Alice Munro. It's a short story collection from like 20 years ago. And I'm 6 stories through it out of 8, and so I don't care because it's maybe the best short story collection I've ever read, or one of them. Look, she won the Nobel Prize like 10 years ago. She's a writer from Canada. All the characters are generally from like small town Canada. You read a short story collection, and I usually don't love short stories, and because some are disappointing, and there's always like one or two just like amazing ones. But man, like story after story after story are just incredible, and they're like so involved that I almost like don't want to move on to the next one because it feels like a whole novel in a story. Some of the reviews which I looked at afterwards, compare her to Chekhov, which I could kind of see because it's like a whole world in these like 30 to 50 pages. So the Nobel group, they got this one right. Alice Munro, she is a good writer. Hate Ship, Love Ship, Courtship, Friendship, Marriage. This is supposed to be one of her very best books. I've never read her before. My mom loves her. Emeka had been telling me for a long time that I would like this book. I think since I lived in New York, I've had this book. I finally went to read it, and I really love these stories.
What else did Alice Munro write? I know the name.
She's only been a short story writer. Like I don't think she ever wrote novels. Runaway was one. Dear Life is one. So it's a bunch of short story collection. I feel like if you're into her, like you're so into Alice Munro, but it probably like people like me, it's hard to get on board just because, I don't know, short stories. It's this Canadian writer. She's still alive. She's 91 years old right now.
Okay.
Shout out to Alice Munro.
I will look that up. My book this week, this just came out last Tuesday. I had pre-ordered it months ago. It's one of like the most anticipated books of the year, and it was fucking awesome. All right? It was fucking awesome. It's about like a near future. It's kind of like Running Man. If you've ever seen Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where like they take prisoners and they make them fight to the death for entertainment. So it's like gladiator time. They have these like teams of criminals. If you've been in prison, if you get 25 years or more, or you get the death penalty, you can sign up for this. And then you come in and you start and if you win enough times, it takes like years. If you win enough times, you get your freedom. Only one person's ever done it. And it's these 2 women who are on the same team who were just like, they're like the Venus and Serena.
Wait, what's the name of the book?
I'm gonna get to it.
Okay.
And they've got to fight, and it's a very smart book. You get battles, you get like gladiator battles that are fucking awesome, and you get people screaming "Suck my dick, America," a lot.
Wait, so that's true.
That's true. That's like a guy's catchphrase, and then as tribute to him, people start saying it as like a way to be like, "I love my friend." So no one's ever actually like. It's amazing how much they say it. And the book is called Chain Gang All Stars. Chain Gang All Stars by Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah. I know I'm
I
saying
have
that
heard
wrong.
of this book.
Yeah, it just came out. It's gotten a lot of hype, and it's worth the hype. The ending's incredible. It's so good. I read it in a couple days. Chain Gang All Stars. I know I recommend a lot of books here. Every once in a while, you get like a razor blade tears where I'm like, fucking read this. It's badass. But Chain Gang All Stars is one of my favorites of the year so far. It's definitely going to be in my top 5 at the end. But I absolutely loved it. And again, I'm very like anti-prison system, and this is so critical. The notes in the book are great. Just an awesome book. Chain Gang All Stars by Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah. Incredible book. Aaron, you got anything for us this week?
I don't know.
You want to tell the listeners anything?
Love you guys.
That's not it.
Actually, in Chain Gang All Stars, there is a character who tells everyone they love them. So it is kind of like a Suck My Dick America for Aaron. Aaron, one more chance.
Suck my dick, America.
Walker. And that was. Recommendation station. Debbie. Get us out of here.
Whoa, Nelly Furtado. That's a spicy meatball. Is that okay, Greggy?